Hi everyone, can you hear me? Hello. Hey Avnish, hey Harsh, hey Rupam, hey Shomashri, hey Suneet, hey Vijay. Great, great, great. Keep your cameras on and yeah, interact in the class. Feel like it's a normal classroom. Okay. And yeah, come to this class to participate. And this class is more about participating and instead of just listening. Okay. So keep your cameras on. It's a very big favor to me if you are keeping your cameras on. Thank you, Subodh. Thank you so much to see you. Nice. It feels very good seeing you. Otherwise, I'm like bored of seeing myself in this.
No, I can imagine talking to blank screens. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, back in during the COVID era when our team used to be completely remote, we
I
did
see.
make sure that having your cameras on was compulsory. Otherwise, you are just talking to blank screen, irrespective
Yeah.
of what you are saying, right?
Yeah.
You don't get any feedback. You don't get any,
Yeah.
you don't understand whether people are listening to you, they are understanding, they're not understanding, they're liking it, not liking it. So it's
Yeah.
makes a lot of difference having
Yeah.
faces to the voice.
Huge difference. Huge difference. It's easy
Yes.
to shout at the people when you are not having the videos on. Okay. And people say anything without the video. I've seen this in past, but yeah, I think everyone. I think it's good for mental health. That's what I feel.
Yes.
And and yeah, I hate those meetings where everybody is keeping their cameras on. It becomes fairly toxic very soon. Good, good. Everyone feel free to keep your cameras on. Make it look like a real classroom and make it more interactive. And yeah, you should feel completely comfortable in the class. I'm not judging your background. I'm not judging your hairstyle. I'm not judging anything. And yeah, um, I'm,
I hope the
I'm
hairstyle, I hope the hairstyle comment was not for me.
You have got a great hairstyle. Okay. And yeah, you are like you have got a CXO hairstyle. Uh, yeah.
Sandeep,
So
hi everyone.
hi Deepak, thank you so much for keeping the camera
Hey,
on.
Deepak.
Hi.
Yeah. And everyone feel free to keep the cameras on. This is extremely important for everyone. So in my previous boss, Dheeraj, when I was heading the AI for DevRev in India, um, he also had he did not have the hair. Okay, and he'll make comments on everybody's hairstyle. And one day somebody said, "You make fun of people because you miss your hair." And, uh, so, anyway. I think all right, all right. But with I mean without the hair, yeah, you look pretty good. As in, it suits you. This suits you. Uh, I'm not sure how
I want,
when I lose my hair, I don't know how good it look. And
I
but
think
for you, it's good. Hmm.
for me it's not a choice, but yeah, I am I appreciate that you said that look good, but yeah.
Because when I cut my hair really short, it looks very ugly. And yeah, so I think So one day I was talking to this guy, Frank Kane from Udemy, who has like a very popular course on Udemy for big data and all. So yeah, so he was laughing. So he always wears in all his videos the cap. Okay, and then he removed the cap when he was having discussion with me in one-on-one. And then I was like, oh yeah, he okay, and so yeah. I think there's no evolutionary benefit of having hair as of today. In olden times, it may be, but and nowadays it's not. No, I have to keep on paying the hairstylist. Yeah, it costs here. It costs like $45. Oh man! So every time my hair starts becoming, bigger, I start worrying that I have to pay $45. Okay, uh, I wish that.
Is it 45 now? It used to be around 15 when I used to be there in
I
US.
see. I
Yeah.
see.
So
I
I
see.
think the inflation has really caught up.
Yeah. Um, Wonderful. Hello, everyone. Please keep your cameras on, make it feel more lively, and yeah, have a healthy discussion. It's not class where you should have any inhibitions of any kind. Feel free. We all are mature people here, and I think that's a lucky thing for me that most of the people, when I went through, everybody is about me. I found that almost everyone is pretty senior. Thank you, Aliba. Thank you so much. Yeah. And wonderful. So I think yeah, this is how you you know make your presence felt in the class, and you have a discussion. It's going to be a long running course, so it's better that you make good friends in the class. And yeah, and yeah, make good friends with the class, in the class, the teammates and all. And it usually happens that many of the people actually help each other even after before the class. And yeah, in the jobs and everything. So when I meet my previous batch students, they usually have helped somebody in the class, either hiring them, getting them internship, helping in various kind of things. So helping them learn something and so on. So yeah, it's I mean, good, perfect. And great. Before we start our introductory session on Python, we till the last session, we're going to be a bit slower, so everybody should be ready for that. But at the same time, I will be solving some of the problems that might look difficult, but they will be pretty easy to solve. So we'll be solving those as we learn new ideas. And and as we go in this class, feel free to bring the questions to class. If you find a question hard to solve, you're struggling to solve the question, feel free to bring in. It's not about I would take an offense that, hey, I could not solve the question and you are throwing the puzzle. I'll give it a try, and I'll give it a try with other people in the class. And it should become like a good habit of, when you look at a coding problem or a programming problem, you should try to solve it. And that should be a habit. When you see a coding problem, it should give you a joy that you got something to do, rather than it should give you a pain that you're being judged. Okay. So make a good, healthy habit of problem solving. When you see a Python problem or any coding problem, you should try to solve it. You should try to solve it by yourself. And the great part about coding problems is that there are infinitely many solutions to the same problem. And there are many ways to think of the same problem. Okay. Like even adding two numbers could be done in many ways. Okay. And similarly, multiplying two numbers can be done in many ways. Okay. So there could be multiple solutions. So don't think that the solution that I'm saying is the only one. That's right. There could be many solutions. We will have the chapter after Python course is done. We will start with things like big O notation and other algorithmic ideas, whereby you would know which of your approaches to solve a problem is better. Okay, so I mean, the idea is that when you come up with, let's say, 10 approaches, you would be able to figure out by yourself which approach seems to be good. Okay. And these are, most of these things that I'm teaching is a common sense. And it's a common sense, honestly. It's just a matter of getting yourself acquainted with new symbols and new language. That's all. Okay. And it's not something that is, something that you can't learn, because everybody can learn a language, like a normal human language. Almost everybody who has come to this class is capable of learning a human language. So learning a programming language is much more simpler than the human language. It's just a matter of practice. Okay. So it's a very important thing to know. Okay. I remember, like, so the way I taught swimming to somebody was like telling them that, hey, the body can float by itself. Okay. It's only the fear that drowns you, because when you get fear, your body shrinks and your body increases in the density. And that's when you drown. And when you die, you come floating and your body can float. So the more important part is the way the swimming is, like our body is natural to float. Okay. Similarly, programming, you all can code because you know at least a language. So it's a very important part. It's a very important part to know. And the other part is that the fear that I won't be able to do this or I won't be able to learn it, that acts as a counter force. It increases your inertia. It makes you less interested and you stop working on this. And you stop working, and the moment you stop working, that's when it basically goes away. So when you know very well that all of you are capable of learning coding, so there is no, once you see a problem, don't think of anything else other than just trying to solve it. Okay, that's what I want to say. Okay. And because all the fears, all the things act as a counter force on your problem solving, because your big part of your brain will kind of drag you down, that will get busy in, okay, all of this fear and that. So don't think of anything other than solving problems. Okay. And I can guarantee that all of you are capable to learn. Okay. A new programming language. Yes, Subodh?
So yesterday, in the last session, right, we learned about list, right? So I was just trying my hands on how much time it takes to access list, especially when you're doing the in operator,
Yes.
to
Yes.
find out, how efficient it is and, how much time it takes. So one thing which I've noticed is that if you have a large list,
Yeah.
no matter how big or small the list is, to access the first element, no matter which element it is, it takes a lot of time, and then subsequently it takes time based on the position of that particular value. So for example, if you have a list of say 100,000 elements,
Yeah.
accessing the first element will take somewhere around 200 microseconds, and then accessing the second element might take say 100 microseconds, and then accessing say the last element might take slightly more, and so on. So
No,
is there any specific?
I'll explain.
I have a code which I've written. Maybe we can look at it and then say
It's a very good question. Good question. Okay. The time taken to various operations, right? That's the question. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Please go ahead with your code. And then it's a very good, important question for everybody. I will talk about list a little bit first, and then I will jump into Subodh's question. Okay. Great. All right. All right. In case things are not clear, feel free to interrupt and stop me. I would love to explain, assuming that nobody has a background in Python. Okay. But you got to help me because it has been very long time since I was a beginner. Therefore, sometimes I'm not able to figure out what is adequate for you. Okay, so you have to help me, right? Just feel free to stop me when I'm going. Okay, all right. So here is a very, very important question that I think it would take a fair amount of time, everyone. I'll take fair amount of time to explain this question. Okay, so what is a list, first of all? Okay, usually in Python, we can define variables. Let's say name is Sandeep Giri. So these are, this name is the name of the variable and it contains a text. Like when I print name, it would print it. I'll open my Jupyter notebook. So as all the experiments I'll do in the code right away. Okay. So all of you should know that you don't require too much of preparation to code. In olden times when I was learning programming, my teacher in college used to teach on the whiteboard, not whiteboard, blackboard. And then we would go to the lab after he has finished right. But he never showed us that he, actually live in code. And because of which a lot, the ways of learning were different. Now the ways of learning are different. And I think these days one should just learn on the code right away. Okay, so I'm going to just be on the code. So I'm going to just show you those who are beginning. Right now, what I did was I went to here and clicked on new and clicked on Python 3. So it opened a Jupyter notebook. This is where we would write code and press Shift Enter to run it. Okay, so I wrote code and to run it, I press Shift Enter. You can also click on cell, run cells. Okay, and find out all the keyboard shortcuts from here. Okay, so yeah, those who are really looking for learning the Jupyter notebook, here is a quick refresher. Okay, so this one runs in two modes. One is a command mode and other is a editing mode. Right now I'm in the command mode. When I'm pressing the up and down arrow keys, it's moving between the cells. Okay, but when I press enter, the cursor goes into the cell. This is called editing mode. When I'm pressing up and down arrow keys, I'm moving here. But if I press escape, I come in the command mode. Okay, this is command mode. Press enter and you are in the editing mode. Press escape, you are in the command mode. Okay, in the command mode, if you press escape and then say press A, it will add the cell above. And if you are pressing the B, it will say add the cell below. And then you can move between the cells easily, right? Now, so that's a quick cursor. There are two modes, editing mode and command mode. Editing mode, you can edit the things and run them. Shift enter to run it. Okay. Please notice that A and B, the meaning is reversed. If you are going into, say, Japlin or Google Colab, the A will add the cell after, B will add the cell before. Okay, and the meaning is reversed in both. But but that's okay. Now, here I defined a variable called Sandeep Giri, and that's it. Now, Python is an interpreted language. I typed the code, it ran the code. Okay. So here, this is the variable name, and I can again change the variable to something else and then print the name now. Now it printed 10. Okay. So this is what is a variable. Now, other than number and string, there is something called a list. Okay. A list looks like this. Okay. List looks like this. Here, comma separated values, it could be text or numbers or another list inside it. Okay. So you can print the list. You can access the element. Okay. Now, when you say list 0, it gave me 1. Okay. Let me put something else into the list. Okay. Now let me say, let me put it some meaningful. Yes, Rahul, go ahead.
Just a small question. In
Yes.
the input on the sixth, tab actually, where
Okay.
you are defining name first as a Sandeep, and then you are changing that variable into
Yes.
integer actually. Is that the thing?
Yes.
Same variable can be changed to a different type in the same piece of code.
Yes. Yes. Very much.
Okay.
Okay. Very
Yep.
much. So here the variable doesn't have a type. What has a type? The variable's value. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you can always think of a variable as just a name, just a name. So this name is pointing to a value 10. Earlier, it was pointing to Sandeep Giri. Okay. So it was in the memory. And when I assigned new value, this was started to point this one. Okay. So it's the way you can think of it, the variable name could be just a name. Okay. What it contains could vary. Okay. We could even define a function with the same name. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, perfect. Very good question. Now you can see that here the list is basically bunch of things. It's a sequence of things. I can also put, let's say, numbers into the same list. Sorry, this is a string. I'll just put numbers into the same list. Okay. Now you see here, I just added one integer, other is a float, and these are. So this is how you define a list, right? Values, comma separated values in the square bracket. Okay. And how do you access? Okay. One is just use the variable as is. Second way is you could also say, give me 0th element. What is 0th element? First. So that's a little weird for those who are beginning. 0, when I say 0th value, 0 means the first element. Okay. When you say LST1, that means it's a first element. And when I say LST2, it's a second element. Okay. Now, question is that when I'm saying LST0, will it, or let's say when I say LST2, will it hop, go here, then here, and then here? Or will it just jump directly there? The answer is that it would just jump directly there. Okay, it would just jump directly there. In the memory, it's a very, very interesting idea. In the memory, what the computer has done is, what compiler has done, first it kept somewhere Sandeep, and next to it, it kept Rahul, and next to it, it kept Saurabh. Okay, when I'm saying list 2, so what is saying? Address of the beginning plus 2, go to this address and just jump there. So it is, this one is takes one jump. Okay, or one jump is also called O1, meaning you jumping directly. Okay, it's not hopping. Okay, it takes same amount of time to process 0th element, 1 element, and 2 element. If you want to read that data, it'll just jump to that variable and give you the value. Okay, so it's extremely fast. It doesn't take time. Okay, A very,
Yes,
very
Sandeep.
yes.
You can. Next question is, does that list variable allocate the continuous 5 addresses in the memory, or 5 or 6, depend on the size of the list, or it just block the random 5 memory locations?
Good question. Good question. I think it doesn't store all of these continuously. It kind of figures out like first 20, it'll store at one place. Then when you put more data into this, it will put a next 20 somewhere else. And then when you are accessing it, it'll basically figure out where to jump. Okay. So yes, it does a little clever thing underneath.
Yeah, is there a way we can print the addresses of this list?
Uh,
I mean, I remember, like, in C days, we used to have this procedure. I can't recall that. In pointers, I guess. Like
Point is,
star
it was
key.
there. Yeah, I think there
Yeah.
is a way. Somebody told me in the last class, print address of a variable in Python. Okay. There was something ID function. No, there was something more to it. Let me see. Okay. Hex. No. How do I print a variable's address? Okay. In C, you could print the address. Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
It's like it's only ID. Let me see. ID of address. ID
Or
of
ID list
name.
LSD.
I see. LST. Okay. So let's say name is equal to, say, Sandeep. Okay. This is one variable. Name one is equal to the same value. Let's see. Does it have the address for name and address for name one same? No, it's not. But if you say name equals, meaning I'm comparing, I'm not assigning. When I say single equals, like here, it means I'm putting Sandeep Giri into name and Sandeep Giri into name one, right? But when I say name equals name one equals name one, I'm comparing them. So right now it is saying that these are equal, but addresses are different. It's just comparing values. Okay. So I think that's the way we can actually just print some address. Okay. And let's see 0. Okay. Let's take a look at good question. I think okay. 52, 8, 9. No, this is very different. All right. 8, 6, 0, 1, 0, 6, 4, 3, 8, 9, 5, 2, 3, 9, 4, 5, 6. So there's a difference, you see? Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Interesting.
Mm.
Let's see. Is there some pattern in this? 8, 9, 6, 2, 8, 9, 6, 2, and 3, 9, 4, 2. Okay. 6, 4, 3. Okay. 9, 0, 8. It looks like this one is before this one, right?
Yeah.
I think that the addresses are way too back and forth. I think the actual values addresses are back and forth. Okay. Probably. This is interesting. I'll have to look at how the list is implemented. As far as I knew, the way it is implemented in Java is that you basically allocate 20 values, then new values come in, you double the size. When more values come in, you keep on doubling the size. Okay. Now, yeah. So when we are accessing the list, if you are accessing the index, it is immediate. It just jumped there. It's not going to hop. But if you are going to say things like, okay, this is my list, for example, LST. I'm going to say Rahul in list. Basically, I'm checking if Rahul is there in the list. So this one is an intensive operation. It's going to scan through the list. First, it will go and check with the first element. Is this Sandeep equal to Rahul? No. Then it goes here and checks, is this equal to Rahul? Then it says true. Okay. Like, for example, if I say 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 in LST, is going to compare so many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So it's going to be fairly painful. Okay. So if I say range basically creates a huge list. Okay. Let's say this is my list. I'm creating a list with range. Okay. I'll just show you with few numbers first. Okay. So I just created a list with how many numbers? 100 numbers from 0 to 100. Okay. So, and I can do the same thing with, let's say, these many values. It would create a list with those many values. Okay. You can just check the length of the list by using len. Okay. So you can see it's about to overflow. It's taking time. Okay. Wow, it's going to overflow, I think. It's taking forever to create this list. How many numbers are there? 3, 3, 3. 1 billion.
Sandeep, I don't think so that will do.
What?
I don't think so it will overflow actually.
It's a 1 billion number.
Overflowing. Yeah, the Python kernel was, like showing the dark black color on the top hand side.
Yeah. See, the thing is, it doesn't allow you to basically go over memory. Okay. So kernel is dead because it has been killed because I took too much of memory. Okay. I'm restarting the kernel. Okay. Kernel is that Python console or Python terminal, Python process that's running in the background, which this UI is sending the code to that, and that kernel is running and giving you the results. Okay. Let's see. Will it work? This is 100 million. 3, 3, 6, 100 million numbers. Okay. Big data, so to speak. Okay. Now, you see 100 million numbers. Okay. Now, if you say, give me, let's say 99999. Okay. It's taking, wait, I'll say print. Okay. Yeah. So it basically gives you immediately this value. Okay. But if you say in list, it's going to do hops in it. Okay. It's going to do hops in it. There is a delay there. You can see it takes time. Okay. Now you can compare this. Okay. You can compare this. This one is faster. Okay. Now, how do I compare this? Okay. There is something called time it. Okay. And I can say % time it. Time it. Yeah. All right. Why did it not print? Let me see how to use time it. Okay. Time it in a notebook. Okay. Yeah, it actually printed correctly. So this one took, you can see, this one took millisecond per loop. Okay. That's a big number. And if I say time it, yeah, this one is 1.6 nanoseconds, and this one is 20 milliseconds. You see the difference? Okay. So what it is doing when I say in something in the list, what it is doing, inside it's just going from left to right, checking one thing at a time and running. Okay. So I hope you find the difference between the two. Shubho?
So what's the first number in time it? The result of time it 1.73 seconds plus or minus 159 milliseconds.
Hmm.
So
Oh
what's the
yeah,
first number?
thank you. Actually, the first number is the correct one, not the second one.
Second
I
one is
was,
the error, I guess.
yeah. I'm sorry. This is the correct number. So this one is taking 1.7 seconds to run. This one is taking 45 nanoseconds. Thank you for reminding that, Yash. Yeah. Okay. So you see the difference between the two? This one just jumps immediately, and this one goes and jumping. So it basically takes how much time? 45 nanoseconds multiplied by this, which is approximately this much.
So my question was that I created a large list. The amount
Yes.
it takes to access the first value, the middle value, and the last value were in that order, right? It used to take less time for first, but no matter which uh, element I'm accessing, for the first operation on that list, it used to always take some time, more time. So my question was that does it do something more for the first time when we're accessing it, or why exactly it takes? If you do it
No,
like
it
over
doesn't.
here,
It
if
doesn't.
you do it over here, define it, then do time it to access the first one. So the first one, right?
Yeah.
Right, that
Do
and
you
then
mean
do time it
that
to
if I repeat it like here, both of them quickly, okay, and both will take different time or so?
no.
Okay.
First time, I mean, you run the first line where you're defining it, list is equal to list range, that, and then do these two, then you'll get two different numbers.
Mm-hmm. These two as in, can you type the code?
Yeah, so let me type it. So if you do lst is equal to list range.
So range creates a list of 0 to n. It creates basically a kind of iterator. It doesn't do
Yes.
anything. And then list basically converts that into a proper list. Okay, so I
Yes.
created a
So
list of these 100 million numbers. Yeah.
yes. So run that line first once.
Okay. Oh, it did not come to me. Okay, this one. So, okay, let me just take your code. Okay, this one, right? All right,
Yep.
I did this.
And then do time it 999 in LST.
Okay, 4 times, right?
Yes. Yeah, 4 times or 5 times. No matter what number you take, the first time you do it, it takes additional time to execute it.
Yeah. So I think that's a thing with the Jupyter notebook. It's not a thing with Python. Okay. So no
Okay.
matter, yeah, it is irrespective of that. Okay. It's basically the Jupyter thing. And there is a bit of mistake in all these calculations. That's what it is showing. No matter how much what you do, it's not doing any caching per se. We call it caching. Caching means that first time when you access it, it will just keep it available. And the next time when you access it, it would take very less time. That is
Okay.
something that you do on an application layer. When you build a software, you will do the caching using these arrays and other things. You'll load the data from the disk or elsewhere and keep it ready in the array or a dictionary. Okay.
No. Okay.
So you can see that it's almost the same. Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Perfect. We also touched upon very important topic here, that how much time does it take to do things? If you access element using an index, it just jumps there, gives you that data. It's just instant. But if you do in, what it does, first it goes, let's say I'm saying Rahul in list, first it goes and compares with Sandeep, then Rahul, and then gives the result. Okay, so when I say in, it's going to hop from beginning till end until it finds. Okay, it's going to be slow process. Okay, it's going to be a slow process. We will learn how to make it faster by using algorithms such as binary search. Okay, we will code that algorithm in class. After Python course is done, we will start with the algorithms. Okay, so we will do that as part of the course. All right, and good, very good set of questions. So it's not, yeah, so conclusion is, it's not kind of caching it, it's not kind of keeping it ready or preparing it for the next one, specifically in the lookup. Okay, in the lookup. There are some systems in which this is true, but in case of list, it is not true. All right. Perfect. Very good questions. Yeah. All right. A question here. Yeah. So it does it with the strings that I have known. Okay. Basically, same strings, it'll try to do it very quickly at the same address. Many a times it does it. Many a times it does the, sometimes it keeps the address to be the same. Okay, so there we go. And what are the other ways of creating a list? I hope everybody is clear about the variables and list. Variables are like strings or numbers, and list is basically bunch of, a sequence of numbers. Okay, so when you are looking up in the list, if you look up by value, it's going to take a long time. If you look up by a number, it is going to take less time. Now, one more thing I want to take a look at is that how much time does it take to delete the first element of this list? Okay, it is actually pretty fast. I did not expect this. Okay, interesting. What? Didn't we create a big list? Okay.
Sandeep, are you sharing anything?
Are you seeing my screen? No?
No.
Is my screen not visible? I can see in my.
Yes, it is. It
Yes,
is.
yes,
Yes, it is visible.
it's visible.
Okay. I can see it on my iPad, which is next to me. Okay. Good. I usually keep that iPad clear next to me so that I can scribble quickly. Okay.
I mean, I can see you, but not the screen that you're sharing. I don't know what.
Just see what happened. Should I unshare and share again?
Yeah, you can try probably. I'm not sure if it's any mistake from my side.
Okay, let me see. Thank you, Rahul. Good to see you. I think I'm seeing you for the first time.
No, I think I used to be online and on video actually when attending the night classes.
Okay, those ones. Okay.
Last week I hadn't attended. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, one class I missed on Sunday, I guess. Last week.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah,
I know that most of you are good with Python, but I think I really appreciate the fact that everyone is, comfortable with, the same thing being repeated for everyone. And I think that's a very important part. Okay. So, but I think now I deleted the 0th element. Okay. Let's see what happened here. It went crazy, isn't it?
Printing the billion numbers maybe. don't know what's the size you kept in for the
So
list.
I have not known this. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I thought that delete works fine. I deleted the 0th element only. And let's see what happens to. Okay. You can also access, let's say, first few elements of a list. Okay. Let's say if you have this bigger list, you can always say, give me first 10 elements. Or you can also say that give me all the elements from, let's say, 99999 onwards. Okay. So, okay, right? These are the all elements from this point onwards. Similarly, you can also say, give me all elements from 5 to 16. Okay, let me take a smaller example of the list. This will make it very clear to all. Okay, let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, when I say give me list element 0, it gives me this value. Okay, now when I say give me, or let's say, how should I okay, let's say I'm doing Sandeep, Rahul, give me name quickly, Ayush. I'm just taking quickly the name from the list. Okay, and okay, Aliba, Abhijit, Vivek. Okay. So these are, let's say, this is the list containing all these names. When I'm saying give me first two elements, it means it'll give 0, 1, but not 2. Okay, 0 element, 1 element, not 2. So starting from the beginning up to but not including 2. Okay. Now if I say give me everything from 1 to 5, what it does, let's say 1 to 4. Okay, so this is right. So this is 0, Sandeep is 0, Rahul is 1, Ayush is 2, Vivek is 3, Aliba is 4. So when I say 1 to 4, it means start at 1, keep going, but don't include 4. Okay, these ones. Start at 1, but don't include 4. So when I say, when you see this, it means include this, but exclude the last one. Okay, those who have studied the sets, this is kind of saying that the left side is included, but right side is not included. Square means included and round means not included. Okay, so that's how, that's basically a nomenclature to know when you are dealing with list. Okay, this much you will have to memorize, that start index, end index, just that end index is never included. Okay. All right. You can also access the last element like a list -1, -2, and so on. Right? Everybody comfortable with this idea? Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go through the variables and expressions. Feel free to interrupt and ask questions.
I am
And
getting one error for delete this statement. Delete list 0.
yeah.
No,
Okay,
actually, I'm getting error.
show me.
Okay.
Yeah, for me also it's getting error. I think deleting an item is not a great thing to do in general.
This one. Okay. This line.
Yeah, I had the same issue. Yeah. So I think deleting an item is not a great idea there. Okay. You can remove a particular element using remove method, but deleting this way is going to cause troubles.
Okay.
Yeah. I just noticed that there is something seriously wrong with deleting. Okay. I also had the same issue just now. Okay. So instead you could say, let's say the way it is, here, I'll just show you. I think, let's say here, this is my list. I can just say remove and take a look at remove function. Okay, raises error if the value, so it basically removes a particular element. So I can say delete Rahul. So it'll go and try to delete that particular value. Okay, and I always thought that this should work fine. Let's say this is okay. I could say delete and it should work fine. But just now I also faced the same problem, the one that you're facing. Okay. And you know, you could delete. I always thought that you could delete this, but I think for numbers there is something crazy that happened just now. Specifically when I did this, and then let's say I'll just test it out with smaller numbers. Okay, when I say delete LST0 and then I say give me first 10 numbers, it worked right now. But when I did for a very long list, okay, it kind of went nuts. Okay.
I think Sandeep, last time we used it with the time it method, and you hadn't put the parenthesis after time it function, and then
Is it
that was a reason to error. Yeah, that's what I feel like. Just
I
go
also
up to the
think
top, you
so.
can probably see
Yeah,
like
I
they
have
given.
used that. Yeah, time it, delete.
Yeah,
And
so if you put the parenthesis after time it, and I mean del is 0 in the bracket, then that should be fine, I guess.
I think del is an operator, so I don't think you can call it like a function.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, I think there's something crazy that happened today at that point. This one will do a kernel crash. Okay. Oh no, it's not.
Actually, without time it, if I write both remove and delete, that is working for me.
Oh,
But it is not working.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So
so
it was only the time it that caused the news.
that's the
Yeah.
issue. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So delete, basically delete a particular element. Please keep in mind, if I can I just want to test how long does it take to delete a particular element. Okay. So delete again will basically first look for the value. When you call remove function, it will go from left to right searching for that particular thing in the list and then try to delete it. And that's where it will take a lot of time. Okay. So can I just say time and delete it? Okay. Oh, time function, time works fine. Okay. Yeah. So delete, I think is faster, but I do not know how it actually works internally. But yeah, when you are looking up something in a list, it's going to be slower. If it takes 1 milliseconds to look up in 10,000, say 100,000 numbers, how much time will it take for searching in 100,000 numbers? If it takes 1 milliseconds, how long will it take to search in, say, 200,000 numbers?
Same problem.
No, 2 milliseconds. I mean, I'm talking about the, let's say,
List.
something in list, like something. Let's say the length of the list is 100,000, and it is taking 1 millisecond to find something. Okay, like this, let's say something is the last element or something is not existing in the list. It'll go searching till the end and say error. Okay, and not found. So it'll take 1 millisecond. Let's say it was taking 1 millisecond. Now, if the list size is 200,000 numbers, it's going to take twice the time, correct? Because there are twice the numbers. Because it's going to do linear scan from left to right. Are you okay? This is assumption, and yeah, for this. Is everybody okay with this? So to search in 100,000 element, if it takes 1 millisecond, it will take twice the time to search in twice the numbers. Okay.
The
All
basic
right.
question is list an array or similar to
List,
an array?
yeah, list is an array in case of Python.
So
Or the other way around, Sandeep. Array is the list actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, Python does not have its any other data structure to represent a list other than the list. There's nothing called array. Arrays are third party, such as NumPy. There is something called a third party package. Somebody needed, like people needed to process numbers and they wanted it to be extremely fast. So what they did was they created NumPy that you'll study as part of the machine learning. And here you say NP array and you provide it list. This one can only take numbers as the data. All the values should be identical, same data type, and so on. So NumPy is designed for handling only the same data type. Okay, but it's extremely efficient. It is not that it doesn't have those many functions as normal list in Python, but it has really, really good performance. Okay, so this sacrifices the feature or the ability to lots of functionalities in favor of the speed. NumPy. Yeah. So whenever saying something, it got interrupted.
yeah, so I'm getting confused on when to use square bracket versus when to use parenthesis while writing a code.
Okay. Yeah. It's pretty simple. Okay. So when you are defining a list, you use the square brackets. Okay. All right. So this is where you use the square brackets. This is called a list. Okay. Right. The list, you can append the element to it. You can say, okay, I'm adding 5 to it. So you appended 5 to it. Okay. And in list, you can basically keep on adding or removing the elements. Okay. So this is a list. But there is something called a tuple. I'm just defining a new variable tuple in which there is this round brackets. Okay. Now tuple doesn't have anything called append. If you try to append it, it will throw an error. Okay. So tuple is a thing that you define once and use it. You cannot add new element to it. Okay. So when you see here, it's a square bracket. Here it's a round bracket. Did I confuse you?
Yeah, a little bit actually.
I confused you? Okay. Okay, go ahead. Tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, I was checking some code where it says for some of the function like x.remove, there was this parenthesis, but when we are defining the delete function, we are using the square bracket. So
Good question. Good question. So delete is an operator. Okay. Delete is to delocate the memory. And this is like a very different thing. Okay. Delete is only one keyword that I always thought that it is a function. Okay. I honestly think that if I have to do it, I'll actually make it like a function. So delete is a keyword or an operator, just like plus or minus. Okay. Plus, minus, multiplication. Delete is like that kind of thing. It doesn't need a bracket. Okay. For everything else, you need bracket. Like you want to print, so you put brackets because print is a function. Print is a function and you're calling the function. Okay. If you are saying length, len is a function. Okay. Please note that long back in previous Python, this is you could call a function without the brackets, but now it's no longer. So if it is a function, okay, if it is a function, you use brackets to call something like length of something. You want to find out length, or you want to find out type. So these are functions. Okay, type is a function which tells you what is the data type of TPL, or okay, and length is a function. While delete is to delete a variable, and it's an operator. Let's say you want to delete this variable. Now this variable has been delocated. So TPL no longer is defined. Okay, so delete delocates the map variable. So delete is one such variable.
No, I can't hear Sandeep.
For
A couple of seconds.
Oh, okay. That's very bad news for me. I've recently.
No, it's all fine now. It was as if you had muted yourself. That's all.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. I had just shifted my internet connection from one internet provider to another. Thought that the internet speed will improve. Okay, let's see.
Get it started.
Okay. To me, it's like hearing that there's a ghost. Okay, internet is the most important thing for me. Okay, all right. I'll try to figure out by morning tomorrow how to deal with this. Okay, anyway, I'll just start my ping. Just launching my terminal, and those who have not gone through Linux commands yet should know that these are pretty useful things. Ping. Okay, I'll just let it run for some time. Okay, in the background. Perfect, perfect. So what we talked about, if you want to delete or delocate a variable, you can just use delete. It basically clears the memory and you know, I mean, if let's say something is taking up memory, like for example, list is still taking memory, I would basically delete list. Let's see what's okay, only 5 elements. Never mind. So Vinay, does that clear the confusion about the square and round brackets?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. Good reminder and good question. So wonderful, wonderful. Feel free to ask any questions. And yeah, for me, this class is very important. It's very personal to me. And I mean, if even one person is left behind, it is a wrong part of myself. Okay, so even if I have to take extra classes in case somebody is left behind, or right, so I would make sure that we do the extra classes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, so I mean, nobody should be left behind, because this is critical. If any of this is, you know, not clear to you, please ask, please stop me. Otherwise, remaining course might become like Mandarin to you. Okay. All right. Now, very important part. Somebody's on unmute. Do you want to ask a question, or is it by accident?
Yeah, Sandeep, it was me actually. Can I share my screen for a sec? Actually, I'm not
Yes.
sure what mistake I'm bringing it up. It's just a small code that. Hey, are you able to view this screen? My screen actually, man. Just I'm just trying to see the difference between.
Can you share the screen? Can you share the screen?
Are you able to view it now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't see. Now it's starting. Yeah. Okay.
So what you are seeing it? I can't see. Oh,
yeah.
You must be seeing it. Yeah. So this is a small code that I was just for
now
testing.
I can see the desktop. I can see the desktop. I don't know where did it go.
Okay.
Move the window back to your primary screen.
Yeah. Now,
is that okay
now?
now? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So see this tuple. I define it like this way. and
Yes.
check for the class type. And same for
Yeah.
the list, I did this. And intentionally, I did this for the array in the curly bracket.
Yes. Yes.
But the classes appear as set, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, the last one is a set. It's
Yeah.
a very highly performant system. If you do let's say 23 in ARR, it'll be really, really fast. Okay. If you want to look up element very quickly, you define something called a set. We will cover the set very soon. Okay.
Okay.
So these are three different data structures. Can you zoom it a little bit?
Yeah.
I'll just walk everyone through it.
Um,
Command 0 or control plus. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, thank you. Thank you. So see, here there are three data structures at a play. First data structure is called tuple. Tuple is basically a bunch of things together that you cannot change. Okay, you cannot add element to tuple, you cannot remove element to tuple. When one system is talking to another system, they usually talk in terms of tuple. So if I'm calling a function and passing something to it, I will give it a tuple so that the other system should not change my variable. Okay, so tuple is a way of communicating between systems. It makes it you know that guy is not going to modify this. It's an immutable list, unchangeable list of things. List, on the other hand, is can be changed, can be appended to, but looking up inside list takes a long time. Inside the list, you can go from left to right and so on, and you can jump to that value quickly and come back. But you cannot, if you're going to look for something, it's going to take a long time. While in case of set, you can jump to any value. You can say 23 in ARR and it'll give you the result very quickly. Okay, so sets are great for looking up values, and sets can only hold unique value. Can you just type ARR again and run? Just show me the value inside ARR. Yeah.
Print AR.
Yeah, in next cell, just print next cell in the next. Yeah, just say ARR and that's it. Yeah. Now see,
Yep.
here you can see the duplicate 6 as well as duplicate 4 has been deleted.
Yep.
Right? So set cannot hold duplicate values. Okay? So these are the fundamental data structures. Okay? Out of these, list is much more basic. Tuples and other things came later, but I'll talk about all of these. Okay? Wonderful.
Thanks, SC. Thanks, Sandeep.
Perfect.
I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, not very. I will. Okay, perfect. Now, the constants, I have already talked about the constants, right? Constants are like numbers, like 1, 2, 3 is a number, 98.6 is a number, hello world is a number. So these are called constants, okay? Constants are basically without the variable. The values inside the variable is basically a constants, okay? Now, a variable is something that is there and it holds a value. You can keep on putting values into the variables, okay? And yeah, variable is a most important thing to know. Equals means assigning. This is not comparison, it is assignment. We are putting 12.2 into X, and then we are putting 100 into X, so it gets, replaced. Okay, now, if I have to, in case of Python, just a little break from the thing. Okay, let's say we have X equal to 10, X plus equal to X, and X plus equal to, or X this 10. What does it mean? I am adding, okay, let's say X plus equal to 5. Okay, now everybody, please tell me what would be the value here. Let's call it 1 : okay, what would be the value here? 2 colon, and what will be the value here? So I had x equals
15.
let me also put this one. Yeah. So who can help me? Rahul, go ahead.
First is 10.
This
and then
is,
your
you are saying this
first
is
print
going
would
to
be
be 10. I'm putting hash
Second
here,
would-
means I'm commenting this value. Okay.
Yep.
And
And
this
second
is
would be 15.
15.
And this would be 30.
This will be 30.
30,
Okay.
30. And this
Okay.
is 300.
300. Okay. All right, let's see. That's correct. So is everybody clear what happened here? So we added x plus equal to 5 means I am adding 5 to x. Then I am saying x, here I'm saying I'm adding x to the x, which means I'm adding 15 to the 15. So it became 30. Okay. Then I said, okay, I am multiplying 10 to 30. That means it is 300. Okay. Everybody okay with this? Thank you, Subodh. Perfect. Yes, very good, very well. Now, let's say I have x equal to 10, y equal to 20, some values. Now, who help me write the code to swap values. Okay, how would you swap the values of x and y? I want to interchange their values.
Can use a temporary variable.
Yeah, I use a
Okay.
template.
Okay, go ahead. TMP. Okay, I just define one variable called T or TMP, whatever name you want to give it. Okay, go
TMP
ahead.
equal to x,
Perfect.
x equal to y,
X equal to y,
y equal to TMP.
TMP. So let's take a look. X comma y. Yes. So x has become 20, y has become 10. Good. Is everybody clear what's happening here? No?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me change a gear a little bit. Okay. Now, without using the temporary variable, when without defining extra variable, can you swap the values? Is this code clear to everybody? So we have x and y, x contains 10, y contains 20, and I'm swapping these values. So what I did was I created a new place where I parked x. Okay. Then I overwrote what was there in x with whatever it was there in y. And then whatever I parked it aside, I put it back into into y, and that's it. Okay. All right. Is it clear, everyone? Please feel free to ask. I know that those who are beginner or for the first time coming into the class of Python, this would look, unsettling. So please feel free to ask. Good point. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Subodh. I got 2 approaches. Thank you, Evan. Very good. Very good. Okay. Let me copy paste your code. All right. Now, let's swap these values without writing code. Okay. So here is one from Subodh, and this is one from Evan. Okay. All right. Let's go over this. We'll talk about this code later. I will print here. Okay. And print here. Let's see, is it working? Yes, it did. It did. You can see here, x was 10, y was 20. X was 10, y was 20. Then what I did was, I said, what he did was, he added x and y into together and put it into the first one. Okay. It's like taking whatever was in y, put it into x. Okay, so x became 30 here. Okay, now what he did was he put y equal to x minus y, meaning the difference of x and y he put into y. Now y became how much? So here x was 30 and y was 20. So 30 minus 20 is 10. So y became 10. Now 30 minus 10 is equal to 20. Is it clear? Very good code. Very good code. Okay. Everybody is comfortable with this?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now, this is another piece of code to swap the values in Python. Okay. And this is a fairly legal way to do it. So you are saying x comma y, this is the tuple, and you're assigning these values. Okay. You can just see this also. This is completely okay. Like if you say x comma y equal to 10 comma 20, and I'm going to print x and y. Okay. All right. So is this clear, everyone? So x comma y equal to 10 comma 20, and that's comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other approach you think of? Yeah. What's wrong with this approach? In this approach, you internally are using temporary variable. Okay. In this approach, what's wrong? Can anybody point like what's the bug in this code? Anyone? Let's see if I can overflow it. Okay. So the bug in this code is it'll overflow. Okay. It will overflow. I'm going to overflow it. All right. Okay. All right. Not yet. How many digits can it go to? Can anybody check the limit on Python integers? Ah, will it overflow now? What? Seriously? Don't tell me. Okay, let me check. Python integer size 32 bits. So wow. I see. I see. Interesting. So what it has done is, this is new to me because I think Python 3, this was a big difference. Okay. I thought it has a limit.
Can we print type of that variable?
Yeah, it is called integer. Very weird. Yeah. Interesting.
Sandeep, the search that you have done in Google, it says they have removed the size limit in Python 3 actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So it detects the number, it basically does everything. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, so what you saw just now is essentially this. But in most of the languages, there is a chance of overflow. Okay. So if let's say x is at the maximum value and y is also like a maximum value possible, when you add them, the number will overflow. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah. And therefore, this code is perfect from the perspective now, but underneath there is a chance of overflow. Okay, so I want to take a small digression. Okay, I think this is something very, very useful for everybody. Okay, so I want to talk about something called XOR. Okay, you will appreciate it later because I talk about. Thank you, Hemant. Thank you so much. Would you help me with the code? Okay, so what is XOR? XOR is essentially if you have two, it's kind of operator the way you have plus operator, 1 plus 1 is 2. Here, if you have 1 as a number and 0, the answer is, if they are different, the answer is 0. Okay. And if they are different, answer is no. If they are identical, answer is 1. If they are same, answer is 0. Let's take a look. Okay, let's
If
take a
they
look.
are identical, then the answer is 0.
Yeah. So 1 XOR 0 XOR 0 is 0. 1 XOR 1 is 0.
0.
1 XOR 0 is 1. And 0 XOR 1 is 1. So you can see that it's kind of like a thing. Okay. Now this is for zeros and ones. Okay. This is for zeros and ones. Let's try to convert any number into zeros and ones and then see what happens. Let's say I am saying 10 XOR 20. What should be an answer? Okay. Let's take a look. What is the binary representation of 10? This one. Binary representation of 20? This one. Okay. Now here, what you see is this and this. Okay. Now 1 0 1 0. That's 10. In binary, this is 10. Okay. So binary is a number system where you have only 0 and 1, and every number can be converted into that number using bin function. Okay. So I just converted 10 into binary, and let's do the XOR operation on it. Okay. 1 0 1 0. This is 20 in binary. This is 10 in binary. Now 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1, and this is all 0 and 1. Okay, so doesn't look nice. Okay, let's take a look at binary of 30. So yes, so you can see, so 10 20 10 XOR 20 led to 30. Why? Because underneath it broke down the number into binary, and it basically one digit at a time, it applied the XOR operation on that. Okay, so you can see 30 is this. Is everybody okay? Okay. Will it work if I say B? Yeah, you can actually print it like this. Okay, you can if you want to define a variable, let's say x equal to this, and then print x, it will be 30. Okay. Not clear? These binary numbers are driving you nuts? Is it? Not clear? Should I explain how it turned into 1010? The 10? Or so somebody else want to explain how 10 became 1010?
So first position is
0 1 2 3.
like 0
2
1
to the
4
power
8.
0 1.
So 8 plus 2 is 10.
Yes. So
1
in
0.
binary, the number will look like 0 0 0 1. So the sequence of number is going to be like this. In decimal, it's 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. In binary, it is 0 0 0 1. Then 1 0. We basically try increasing this, and went the one increased by here, and then 1 1, then 1, then okay, this is misalignment 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Okay, now here one digit increased, so 4 is 1 0 0, 5 is 1 0 1, 6 is 1 1 0, right, like that, and 7 is 1 1 1, and 8 is 1 0 0 0. Okay, basically what's happening is, just like when you do the decimal, when you exhaust all the numbers, like you go from 0 to 9, and then when you can't, you don't have any other digit than 9, what you do, you put 0 there and increase the left bit. Okay, so what so here, that's what is happening. When we can't go any further, what we do, we increase the previous one. When we can't go any further, we put 1 in front of it. Just like after 9, we got 10 because there is nothing else. So we restart from 0, we increase the previous one by 1. Like when we reach 19, after 19, you get 20, correct? And when 99, since, right? So we basically, so the formula is that we try to increase the digit. If we can't increase the digit, we reset to 0 and increase the previous one by 1. Correct? So that's the idea. This is 1 0 0 1, and then this is 1 0 1 0. Is everybody okay with this? All right. Yeah. I think yeah, everybody should practice a little bit on this. Now, the cool part about toggling, okay, this XOR operation is something, I'm taking a bit digression, okay? Okay, now, I talked about the binary numbers, right? So you can actually just say that for, right, I'm going to say range, and how do I, okay. All right, I'll talk about the for loop very soon, okay? Yeah, so I talked about XOR, okay? The cool part about XOR is that if you XOR something twice, you will recover the same number. Like, for example, 10 XOR 20 gave us 30. If you say 30 XOR 10, you will get 20. And if you say 30 XOR 20, you will get 10. Okay, so if you take a look at the table again, let me say A, B, XOR. Okay, pay attention. So if A is 0, this is the definition of XOR. Okay, this is 0. Okay, so when things are different, then the outcome is 1. If things are same, outcome is 0. That's XOR. Okay. Now, XOR, why I want to take a digression, because XOR function is something fairly complex for most of the AI systems or machine learning systems to predict. If XOR exists in the input, most of the machine learning systems cannot figure it out. Okay, it's like when right, when husband alone goes to party, okay, he drinks. When the wife goes to party, drinks. When nobody goes to party, nobody drinks. And when they both go together, they don't drink. That's how you can remember XOR. Okay.
Very easy to remember.
Yeah. Okay. So essentially they don't drink when they go together. When they nobody goes, then anyway they don't drink. But if either of them go, then they drink. Okay. And they haven't told each other that they drink. So okay. Now coming back to it. So it's a bad example, but it's a important one. Now Coming to it, I couldn't figure out any better example though. Okay. And now the waiter in the party or in a pub won't be able to figure out this correlation, like what's going on. Sometimes they drink, sometimes they don't drink. It'll take a long time for the waiter, or the waiter need to be really smart to figure out that, oh, when they are coming together, they don't drink. Okay. And yeah, and that's even difficult for humans to figure out that easily. Now, coming back to it, so here, very important part. Okay, if let's say input was 0 and output is 0, can you figure out what was here? Can you figure out what was here? There is only one possibility, right? If output is 0 and input is A is 0, so what should be the B?
0.
0, right? So if you know the output and you know either, you can recover the other one, correct? Like for example, here, if output is 1, B is 1, what would have been A? There's only one possibility, right? 0. So if we know two of any two, you can figure out what is the third one.
Yep.
Right? In your home, where do you see XOR anywhere? In your home? Bedroom lights. If you have two switches for the bedroom, they are in the XOR.
Yep.
Because toggling any of the switches will toggle the output. If you see, if it is 0, 0, if you change this one to 1, it will turn on the light. If you turn this one to 1, it will turn on the light. If it is 0, 1, if you turn on, change this, then it will turn off the light. Basically, changing any value would change the outcome. So that is another place where you will observe XOR. XOR is a very important function in case of the computing. Okay, so the light that you have at home, like the switches, are essentially the XOR. Okay, now other part I'm trying to highlight is that if you do the XOR of output with A, you can get B. If you do the XOR of output with B, you will get A. That's what I showed you just now here. That when you do 10 XOR 20, you get 30. But when you do 30 XOR 10, you recover 20. When you do 30 XOR 20, you recover 10. You see that?
Yeah.
Can you think of a use case, a practical use case of this thing? Anybody? Suneet, was it able to clear your doubts on binary? No? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Hemant, for posting that answer. Nice. Super proud. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Now, there is another use case of, I talked about the bedroom lights. That is one use case. The other use case, yeah?
Cryptography.
Cryptography, yes, that's a very good answer. Cryptography, okay. There is one more use case, is in the file backup, okay. Let's say you have two hard disks. You have two hard disks, three hard disks, let's say, okay. A, B, C, okay. This one is 2 terabyte. This is 2 terabyte. This is 2 terabyte, okay. Now, let's say you can you want to keep it such that if any of the disk is lost, you can recover from the third one. Okay, so you store some data in this and you do the XOR and keep it here. You do the XOR, keep it here. So, sorry, this will be one. So whatever is your data here, so C will contain A XOR B. Okay, all the bits of A have been XORed with B, and we are keeping the data in C. Now, if the B disk get corrupted, you can recover by B is equal to C XOR A is equal to C XOR B. So any of the hard disk, if they get corrupted, you can recover that from the other two. Make sense?
Yeah.
How much total storage you built out of 6 terabyte? You got 6 terabyte hard disk. How much storage you got? 4 TB, right? 2 TB is a backup.
So you are
out
saying
of 6,
C is your backup, right?
yeah. So A has got data, B got data, and C is basically A XOR B, and that's our backup.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we were able to have 4 by 6, meaning instead of dedicating to store 4 TB, we use 4 TB of hard disk as a backup. We just used 2 TB as a backup. Sounds magical? It's a good interview question. And I do ask it when I'm hiring people for general engineering, that how would you build storage using 3 hard disks of 2 terabyte each, such that you can store 4 terabyte of data. Okay. So usually people think that, okay, and I'm saying that at any point of time, only one hard disk will be corrupted. In this case, if 2 hard disks go corrupted at the same time, you won't be able to recover the data. This data will be lost. Yeah. Are you guys with me, everyone? The mystical XOR operation. Okay, XOR operation is really cool. Yeah. And the cool part is you can repeat the same process with 4 hard disks. You can do the XOR operation of 3 and put it in the 4th one. In case any of the hard disk is lost, you can recover it from the 4th one. Okay. This format is called RAID 5 and it's used professionally. Okay. It's used professionally. Okay. Is everybody with me so far? Or have I lost you?
What is full form of RAID 5?
Yeah.
What is full form of RAID 5?
Redundant. I think RAID is redundant array of independent drives.
Disks, I guess.
Disks. Yeah. Is it correct? Did you check the wiki?
Yes, yeah, okay.
Okay. So RAID 5 is done using this. Now let me take a look at let me go back to the question that we were asking. Yeah. See, these things will never come up if I go with a strict curriculum. Okay. Now let's take a look at print x comma y and print x comma y. Did it swap? Yes, it did swap. So what we did, we computed the result of x and y, put it into x. X contains the XOR of x and y. When y is XORed with x, right? So it's like it will recover x. So now y contains the value of x. Now x is equal to x XOR y. Now x contain the value of y. Mystical?
So Sandeep, do we need a last line 6 of code here?
This one? Of course. So this one combined the value. Now x contains 30. Okay?
Yeah.
X
Okay.
X becomes 30. Y was what was y?
10, 20.
Yeah. X became yeah. Now after this step, right? So x is x XOR y. So y became 10 and x is still 30. Correct?
Yeah. Okay.
Now, after this step, what happened? We basically
Yeah.
recovered the value of
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah, I hope that you are all with me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Super proud, super happy. Yeah. So these were few things I did with the variables. Okay. And yeah. Similarly, there are quite a few other operations like AND, OR, XOR, and NAND, NOT. All of those are kind of similar. AND is basically pretty obvious. The AND operation is pretty obvious that, you know, what? Here, let's say A, B, C, okay? And this is AND. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, this is called and OR is OR between A and B. Either of them, 1 and 1 is 1, 1 or 1 is 1, 0 or 1 is 1, 1 or 0 is 1, 0 or 0 is 0. Okay, so like that. All right. Now, those who want to understand how actually computer is built, you can take a look at this particular website, which basically starts with relay. You have to build all the logic gates from the beginning, and you have to build a computer. Okay, if you want to understand what does it mean by a variable, how the variable is built using the electric circuit, you should take a look at this site. I really liked it, honestly. Those who are after the very fundamental question that what happens in the computer when I say x equal to 10? How does the computer take this instruction and keeps this memory on? If you want to look at that, you should take a look at the electric circuit. So you build the electric circuit, build the variable, build everything from scratch in this particular website. Okay. So that's something that those who are really enthusiastic about building a computer from electric circuit to manipulate electric circuit, to manipulate electricity to create a code, I think create a logic, you can take a look at that website. Okay, honestly, I found it just amazing. Okay, it's called NAND game. Okay. Now, moving on, this is something super interesting. Any other important question that you want to address in case of variables? Yeah, let's move on. Okay, so we have dealt with the variables very well. Okay, so there are variable names. These variable names are all good. You will find something like this sometimes. You will find x comma underscore equals 40 comma, or let's say you have 10 comma 30. Okay, so x is essentially the first value from the list and underscore contains 30. Okay, so underscore is a valid variable name. It might look like crazy, but underscore is a good variable name. Okay, so the variable name can contain or start with can start with a letter or an underscore. Okay, it cannot start with a number or any other thing. Like, for example, it can't start with a number, it can't start with a hash. Also, the variable name cannot contain anything other than letters, numbers, and underscores. For example, where .12 is not a valid name. Also, different cases of variables are considered different. For example, you can have A, okay? And so if you say A and you say A, you can see that the two are considered as a separate variable. Okay, so casing matters. Other thing is you cannot use these reserved keywords and, del, for, is, raise, assert, elif, okay, from, lambda, return, break, and so on. Okay, so avoid using these. Avoid using these as variable names. Okay, if you try to do that, let's say del equals to 10. Okay, it says it's an invalid syntax. All right, now this we have already talked about. I hope nobody has a question about it. This is called assignment with an expression. This is a print statement. Okay, now the assignment, okay, so we assign a value to a variable using the assignment operator equals. An assignment statement consists of an expression, okay, on the right hand side and the variable to store the results. Okay, so this is all okay with everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at okay. Let me come up with better idea than this. Okay, so here we are, say x is equal to this, multiply with this, and so on. And one more thing I want to tell you is that x divided by 10. Okay, let's say x equals 1000. Okay, or let's say 1001. Okay, so this one essentially gives you an integer division. Okay, double slash gives you an integer division, while single slash gives you a decimal result. So it gives the double slash gives you the integer part of it. Okay, so 4 divided by 5 and 4 divided by 5 both are different. This is 0, this is 0.8. Are you guys okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, coming back to it. So here, there is another very important thing called modulo. Okay. Modulo returns the remainder. Okay. So it is checking if it is divisible by 2 or not. Okay. What are the other ways of checking if it is 2 or not? If, okay, how do you, okay. All right. So the other way of checking is by checking this like AND operation. Any number which is a even number. What is the quality of even number? If you remember the right.
The last digit of the number.
Yes. So last
Binary
digit of
version.
the binary number, how would it look? In case of
Even.
0, it is 0. In case of 1, it is 1. In case of 2, it is 1, 0. In case of 3, it's 1, 1. In case of 4, it's 1, 0, 0. In case of 5, it's 1, 0, 1. In case of 6, it's 1, 1, 0. Notice this, all even numbers have 0 in the end. All odd numbers have 1 in the end, which means that if you do AND operation with 1, in case of odd, you will get 1, correct? In case of even, if you do AND operation with 1, you will always get 0. So this will return 0 in case of, right, 0 in case of even, and 1 in case of odd. Okay, so this is another efficient way of checking if a number is divisible by 2 or not. This is only to check the even or odd. Okay. Okay, this trick here, but this one prints the remainder. Okay, this one prints the remainder. Yeah, let's say
then according to this, sorry Sandeep to interrupt, but according to this definition, 0 is also an even
number. 0 is also a
even number.
Correct.
Right, but 0 is neither.
0 is?
I mean, according to neither even nor odd. Right?
0 will be considered even always. Okay, but 0 is like a crazy number. Okay, like for example, okay, x to the power y is represented like this. Okay, x equal to 10, y equal to 2. So x to the power y is 100. This double asterisk means power. Okay, now let me ask you this. What is the 0 to the power 0? What is 10 to the power 0?
1.
Huh?
So 1.
1. Correct. What is 0 to the power 10?
0.
So now question is, what is 0 to the power 0? 1 or 0?
1.
You see, 0 to the power something is 0. Something to the power 0 is 1. So what is 0 to the power 0?
0.
Okay. Let me again ask you the definition of power. The one that you studied in childhood. Who will give me the definition of power?
Multiply with the same number.
Multiply with same number. Okay. Any other definition of power?
With
and times. Okay.
And times, yeah.
Okay. So that is the first definition. Any other definition? Okay. My definition is multiply 1 with the number n times. Which one do you agree with?
Multiply with the number and time.
Okay. When I say x to the power n, x to the power n is equal to, you are saying x into x into x into x like this n times, right? I am saying it is 1 into x to the x n times. Which one makes more sense to you?
Same actually.
In case n is 0, in case x is 0, in case x is 0 and n is 0, this should be answer of the first one is 0, while second one is 1.
1, yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So my definition is right.
Yes.
Do you see the difference? Like the way we have studied the power is very different from what we are studying. Okay. Remind me, we will go through the power of n. We will code our own method and then see which one seems to be more sensible, yours or mine. Okay. Okay. When you code the power method, we will run a loop. Okay. Will we run a loop like this or will we run a loop like this? Okay. That is something that we'll discuss. Okay. Arush was able to answer regarding the remainder, the percentage sign. Okay. Perfect. Very good questions. Very, very interactive session. Okay. I want this discussion to carry on. Okay. You will only remember the things which you ask, which you discuss, which you try to solve. You won't remember a damn thing which I'm just teaching and you are finding me to be boring. And I can guarantee that you'll forget everything. Okay, so interact as much as possible. If I'm asking a question, try to answer. Okay, it's okay to be wrong, but it's not okay to be silent. Okay, it's not okay to, be in that zone where you are not able to understand things. Okay, so feel free to ask, stop me. And this is a great chance. And so it's very important for everybody to come out and ask questions. All right. Now, I hope this is clear to all. Perfect. Now, here is an example rundown of this expression. So x is equal to 3.9 times x times 1 minus x, right? So we put x equal to 0.6 at both the places. So it becomes 3.9 times 0.6 times 0.4. And that's the value. And then it gets assigned to this one. All right. Now, this is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, power, and remainder. There is one more thing called integer division that I have already covered. I did not cover multiplication. Multiplication is usually asterisk. Okay. Now, so you can calculate the division like that. Okay, and so on. I think this is all good. Yeah, one more thing, the order of precedence. Okay, there are two things to note. One, if the order of the precedence is same, the evaluation happens from the left. Okay, like for example, this. Okay, what is the answer?
That means 130.
Yeah, 2.75, correct?
5. Yep.
And what is the answer of this?
Three.
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. But I think there was one more thing I was thinking.
Integer, I guess, division.
Yeah, I'll swap these orders.
Six, 2 divided 1 by 3.3.
What?
3333.
So is it equal to
0.3333.
0.333?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yes.
think the division and multiplication order sort of doesn't matter, right?
Board mass. I mean, if you go with board mass,
It's a board mass, na, which they follow.
0.67 into 2 actually. Then.
Okay. Okay. No. All right. Now that
Yeah,
surprises
1.36.
So see, what happened was the operator, when the operators have the same precedence, it left to right operation prevails. Okay. So 2 divided by 3 is how much? 0.667 multiplied by 2, that's 1.33. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, these are a little bit teasers. Okay. So in such cases, when you have the confusion, okay, when you have the confusion, always put brackets. Okay. So it depends on what you want to do, and you put the brackets accordingly. Okay. All right. I hope everybody is with me. So most important thing is parenthesis, then power, then multiplication, then addition, then okay, multiplication and division are of the same level, addition, subtraction are of the same level, and basically if addition and subtraction is there, you always follow left to right. Okay, so that's about it. All right. Okay, moving on. I hope everybody is all good so far.
Yeah.
All right. One more thing I want to bring to your notice is that this plus this, what will happen?
That's the integer plus 1.
Oh, error.
Error. Why? Because this one is a string, this one is a number, and in such cases, Python, rather than converting this into number or this into a string, it throws an error. Okay, so you cannot mix the two things in the additions. Okay, so be careful. If you say a string plus a string, so 1 plus 1 is 11. If you say 1 plus 1, it is 2. Okay, so but you cannot mix the other things. All right, so I hope it made sense to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. There are several types of numbers we have already talked about. Okay. Also here, let's say x is equal to 10 and you want to translate it into negative, you can always say x equal to minus x. Okay. And it'll become minus 10. All right. Now you can check the type of a number. You can do the conversion of the number. Like you can say, you can say integer of minus 100 and you will get 100. Now then you can basically convert it. Okay. So you can say integer of 1 is 1. Okay. So now this is correct. On the other hand, you could say this plus a string of 1, that will be 11. Is everybody okay so far?
Yes,
So
sir.
here we converted this from a string to a number. A string is something which is in double quotes, single quote, or triple quotes. And we converted that to a number and then added a number. And here we converted a number into text by using str function. Okay, by using the str function. Now, all right. Now you can also do string conversions and all that. Now you can take the input from the user using input. Okay, you can say hi, and it will take the input from the user. Okay, right? You can assign it to a variable. You can say age is is equal to input. Please enter your age. And it will give you a prompt saying, please enter your age, and then you can enter the value. Okay. Notice that this got assigned to this variable called age underscore string, but you can see that it is a string. You can see single quote around it. How do you convert it? Using the integer around it. Okay. So input function, when it takes input from you, it gives out a text. And that text, you can put it into a variable, and you can convert. If it is a number, you can convert it into a number using int, or using float. You can also use, say, float to convert it. It'll convert it into decimal number. Now, you might say that enter your name. Okay, please enter your name. And I'm saying Sandeep Giri. Okay, now you check what's there in the name. Okay, it's Sandeep. Perfect. Everybody okay with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can, yeah, I've already discussed about it. Comments in Python start with hash. That's what a comment in Python looks like. So you have the lines starting with hash, and that's how the code looks like. Okay. These are the lines that are the comment. Everything after hash is a comment. Okay. Okay, so string operations, usual string operations are like you can add to a string simply like this. I can say, let's say my name, first name is equal to Sandeep, and last name is equal to Giri. I can say first name plus last name. Okay, and I can also put a space in between, and that's my full name. Okay, full name. And then on the full name, I can do all kinds of things. I can check its length, how many characters are there. So it has 12 characters. I can also start to pick letters from it. I can say, give me 0th character. It says capital X. I can also say, give me first letter. It's A. I can also say that give me all the first 5 characters. So it gave me first 5 characters. I can also say, give me characters 5 onwards. It says, these are the characters starting from 5 onwards. Okay. Again, the same philosophy applies when you say :5. It means give me up to the index 5, but don't include 5. When I say 5 : it will give me all the numbers starting from 5 till the end. Okay. Similarly, I can say, give me last 2 letters. Okay. So you can start with -2 onwards. Okay. Or you can just say, give me say last letter. So it gave me last letter. Give me second last letter. It gave me second last letter. Also, I can say full name, and you can take a look at all the functions that it provides. You can capitalize this, meaning first letter capital, all small. You can also say upper. It basically converted into upper. You can also say lower. It converted into lower. And you can what is case fold? I don't know what is case fold. Also, please note that you cannot change a string. A string is read only. If you want to say, okay, change the 0th letter. This is my name, and I want to change the 0th letter to let's say X. Okay, you cannot do that. It does not allow you to change. Okay, and because a string is read only. Okay, so a string is a list of characters which is read only, which you cannot modify. Okay, and let's take a look at more functions. I'm pressing tab. It is showing me all kinds of things. I don't know what is center, but I know what is count. Count basically gives you number of letters, number of characters in it. Okay. what happened?
Count full name.
Like this? I can't believe this.
Not just count and full name.
What? See, full name dot count. So this is a function. I can call the function. It says it takes at least one argument. How come?
Count
Okay.
is, that's where I'm saying it's
Returns the number of over. Okay. It basically looks for something in that string. You
yeah,
can
so here you need to
say,
put full name.
you can say, okay, what is it that I'm looking for? Let's say I'm looking for E. So it gave us this. Okay. If I say double E, it gave me occurrence. If I say double EP, it gave me this. If I say ABC, it'll say 0. So it is counting the occurrences of that particular string. Okay. Now let's take a look at, it can check what it is ending with. Okay. Is it ending with, say, Giri? That's false. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Full name, Sandeep Giri. G, if I say capital, yes, it is going with that. True. Now, what else is there? Let me see. Okay. So, yeah, I'll talk about encode and other things later. Ends with expand tabs, find, format. You can find the letters in it. You can format it. You can format this string. I'll talk about this soon. You can also check if it is digit, it is decimal, it is alphanumeric. So you should take a look at all these you know, all these character, all these things as you should take a look at all these functions by putting question mark. Yes, go ahead. Somebody has raised hand.
Yeah. How do we get the first word of that
First
string?
word, good question. Who will answer this question? So we want to extract, let's say, first word from, let's say, yeah? No, we want to extract the first word. It starts with checks if something is, right?
Sorry. Yep.
Okay. It starts with Sandeep. It'll say true or false. Yeah. But if I want to extract the first word, who will tell me?
We can first split it and get the 0th element of the list.
Yes. So there is something called split. A split will break it into it will break it into two parts. Okay. And now we can say this is now a list containing two strings, and then we can say give me 0. Okay. So this way you can pick a particular one. If you want to pick the last one, you can say -1. Okay, perfect. Very good questions. All right. Okay. What else can you do with it? Okay. One more thing you can do is you can pick the letters. Okay. I'm going to show you something. Okay. What should I show you? Slash CXL data. Okay, CXL data, and big.txt. Okay, so I'm going to just take a quick shortcut using Python. Okay. Okay. I'm reading the data from this big file into one string using this shortcut. Okay. So I read the data from this file into this particular string. The length of this string is how much? It has got 6.5 million letters. Okay. All underscore text. Okay. Oh, it got stuck. It is going to take forever. Okay. I'm going to just pick, ouch, just, okay. These are the first 100 letters from this string that I read from this file. I said, open this file and then read till the end. It opened the handle and then I said handle.read, it read the file. Now, we'll talk about the open and read later. I just wanted to show you this. So I just went ahead and did. So here, what you see is that we read all the text from a file, put it into one string variable. And now this is the scenario. Now, cool part is you can basically put it into a list of characters. Okay, so this A contains, A is an array. This A is an array containing these many letters. So you can see, okay, give me first 10 letters. It's giving me first 10 letters. So the moment you pass a text to a list, it basically does this. If you want to find the unique characters, you can simply say U equals set of A. Okay, set is a kind of a method that converts anything into set, and these many unique letters are there. Okay, so you can take a look at unique. So there are total 93 unique letters that are being repeated in that file. Okay, so we'll talk about set soon, but I just wanted to tell you that you can convert any text into a list by using list function. Okay, it just converted Sandeep into a list where each thing is a letter. Okay, I hope this made sense. Also, those who are interested to know, right? If you do this, it creates an array of 10 elements repeated. If you do, let's say this, it will basically generate a string repeated with the same string. If I want to say AB 10 times, I can just say AB into 10. If I want to say 1, 2 10 times, I can just multiply that. Okay, so this asterisk operator does work well with the list and the text. Okay, now there are basically, you always want to keep the variable names to be as clean as possible. Do not have the cryptic variable names like this or this or this. Okay, and for example, the historically one of the worst piece of code is this. Okay, those who have free time, they can take a look. Okay, it's a code from a very famous game called Quake. Quake was the first company, like first game that was made open source. Okay, when we are computing in computer gaming, when we are computing the shadows or the vectors, when we are computing the unit vectors, you will study further in maths in the class. When you have to compute the inverse square root, okay, 1 by root x. Okay, and for that, here there was one piece of code that was super crazy, and it was here. Okay, y equals this, I equals this, I equals some magic number, something is happening here, and so on. Okay, the author itself okay, so this is the original code and original comment from the Quake game. Okay, I am yet to figure out how it's computing is inverse square root by using this, but it's a fairly mystical code. So don't let your code become this mystical, and make sure your variables and things are self-explanatory and obvious. Okay. All right. Now here, this code, even though it's like very simple, x equal to this, y equal to this, and then X into Y and resulting here, but it just gives heebies of GBs, heebies of a GBs to me. Like it just makes me, not look at this. But if you look at this piece of code, hours equal to 35, rate equals 12.5, pay is equal to hours into rate, this is obvious, right? So, right, avoid this sort of obfuscation in the code. All right. Now, a quick question to all: write a program to prompt the user for hours and the rates per hour to compute gross pay. Everybody can do this. You have to take the user that enter, then enter the rate per hour and compute the gross pay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I want to give one more exercise, a little more difficult. Okay. Right. Write a program to compute the compounded interest, the total amount after compounded interest. Okay. Okay. Basically, you should take principal as input, and take principal as input, and rate as input, then time as input, and then print the total amount. Print the total amount. After applying compound interest. Okay, everybody can do this?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Won't we also need the period? I mean, time is there, but we also need the unit. right?
Period, you can assume this to be years. Okay, time should be years, and period should be like yearly. Okay, just to
What's-
make it keep it simple.
What's the first program, Sandeep?
First program is just very simple. Take the hours and the rate per hour and print the total pay. Which is basically multiplication of the two. Okay, here you have to apply the formula of rate of interest, which is usually the formula is total equals principal multiplied with 1 plus rate divided by 100 to the power years. Yeah. Yeah. So I think this is the problem statement. Okay. So please take this and do that. Okay.
We have to do it now or?
No, tomorrow. By tomorrow you should do. Okay. I am I am just changing it. Oh, we are already over time. Okay.
Sandeep, what was
All
the
right.
shortcut? Sandeep, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What was the shortcut that you used to show that list of functions, like full name dot
Okay.
dot something?
So what I did was I said full name. Okay. Full name and then dot, press tab. Okay. And just select anything, either put a question mark, it'll pop up, or just say help. Okay. Yeah, very important. Okay. Just say help. Okay. And it just says it doesn't have. Okay. Can I just say full name? Yeah, help is string. This one is a good example. Now you can also say dir full name. Okay. It will show you all the functions that are there in full name. Okay. So it'll show you all these. So dir, help, and question mark are your friends. Okay. Perfect. I will see you tomorrow at the same time. We'll carry on with the discussion tomorrow at the same time. Perfect. We will keep your questions ready in the LMS of which is there. Start from the top, keep on working through all the exercises. You can skip some of them, like if you are not keen on Linux right now, you can skip, but do come back on Linux. Okay, it's going to haunt you. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, one quick question. Do we have access to the Jupyter notebook which you created today? How to get that?
No, I'll have to put it somewhere. Okay, I'll just download it, and I'm going to just message everyone on the WhatsApp group right away. Okay.
You
And
can, if it is the same Unix box, right? You can share it in one location and we can pick it from there.
No, actually, people might have different servers.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, that's the only challenge. But yeah, it's a good idea if I can figure out a folder where I can put it. Yeah. Sorry, I ended up sharing with Harsh only. I will just change it to everyone. I shared this notebook with everyone. Okay. So thank you.
And Sandeep, just before we wrap up, just want to check what is the book you can refer for Linux actually?
What?
I know you mentioned, I mean, in the course, it's mainly commands, right? Like Linux commands are mentioned, which you'll have to go through. But any books or any other material you want to refer for Linux?
Oh, for Python?
Linux.
Linux. Okay. I think there is somebody. Somebody can help me in this. Okay, I'm fairly arcane when it comes to Linux book. My favorite is still is Kernighan and Pike. Okay, my favorite still is Kernighan and Pike. The people who designed Unix in 1980, 1970s. Okay, I still like that book. Okay, but there are better books around. Okay. Yeah. I
That's
mean,
a PDF actually, Brian W.
yeah, it'll be free and it'll be available. Okay.
That's the Unix programming environment actually.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Still, everything is exactly same. Okay. That actually, the crazy part was that I studied the C from Kernighan and Ritchie, the guys who wrote C. Okay.
Yep.
That was the book I read. And honestly, I learned so much from that book that I did not read from any book. The book basically had data structures, algorithms, and everything in the same small book. Okay. So I had to read like I must have read that book like 5-6 times during my
And
college.
book is also so small. It's so good.
Yeah. It's a tiny book.
And in one page, you will get a lot of information.
Lot of information. I read like 5 times. My compiler design actually happened through that book. I just finished one part again and again. Now, this Linux books that I'm talking about, when I was reading that Linux book, I learned about something called YAC, yet another compiler. Okay. So that book is actually crazy. It teaches you how to design compilers. It's a Linux book. Okay. And yeah, I'm like, wow. And I'm actually very inspired by those, specifically Kernighan and Ritchie and Pike. That's why even though this course is of Python, but you will see lots of digressions and whatever it is needed to do scientific computing, you will learn that. Okay. And you will be, I think the things that people miss out on a real course, those are the things that I'm incorporating. Okay. Like XOR was not necessary, number system was not necessary as part of this, but these are actually necessary. It's just that people have not included those in the books. Okay. And if you see a book called Art of Computer Programming by KNUTH, Nuth, that's another grand book. You should.
Yeah,
read.
I was looking at it. It's Sandeep, some time back. It has 5 volumes. I'm not sure like which one. I thought
Just
like
go with
they are
first
a
one.
key
Just
first
go
one,
with
right? Like
first one. Yeah. On the backside of note,
okay.
backside of the book note, it is written by Bill Gates that if you can finish the full book, you can send me your resume. Okay. So yeah.
Okay.
That's a crazy book. That's a crazy book. He's like father of algorithms. The father of entire of algorithms. Okay.
Software engineering. Yeah.
Software engineering is like every algorithm he has contribution. KNUTH. When you say Control F in your browser, okay, and it searches the text, that Control F algorithm is called KMP, Knuth Morris Pratt algorithm. Okay, and it's
Okay.
after this guy's name. So he has contribution in almost every algorithm. Okay, so yeah, I think, but that's just too much to handle. Like I understand that the book, Knuth book is deep. Exercises of both. If you guys want good exercises on coding, I would strongly recommend Kernighan and Ritchie's exercise. Okay. All right. So some of my favorite books is this Kernighan and Ritchie. C.
That is
So
for
it's
C,
a
right?
book on C. It's a book on C, but its exercises are actually good. If somebody wants to do only the exercise and want to work with me, I can help you guys do that. The exercise of this book is just amazing. Okay. And yeah. So my like the record is that if you just solve like first chapter's exercise, like the first couple of chapters exercise, you are way better at coding than most. Okay. So here, like they have done a marvelous work. The other book I was recommending is the Kernighan and Pi. These guys designed designed the regular expressions and everything. Okay. So this one. Okay. The other one I was referring to was KNUTH. Okay. The book. Okay. It's called Art of Computer Programming. One of the hardest book to read. Okay. Not many people will enjoy the book because half of the book is maths. And he has also created a new programming language just for the book. Okay. It's like an assembly kind of a language. Okay. So it's kind of painful. Somebody has to rewrite it. Okay. But it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. Okay. I think it's worth looking at the problem statements in the book. Don't need to read the books. I find that reading lots of computing books is not useful. I feel that the exercises of this book are marvelous. Okay. All right. And then in case you are already a good programmer, I would strongly recommend this book. Okay. This book is very good.
Programming Pearls.
Programming Pearls by John Bentley. Okay. And yeah, these are few of the things that I found really good. Okay. All right. So yeah. Cool. So carry on, and I'm looking forward to see you all next time. Okay.
Sandeep, what you were mentioning about Bill Gates?
I was mentioning this. You see my screen? See this?
Yep.
If you think you are a really good programmer, read Knuth's Art of Computer Programming. You should definitely send me a resume if you can read the whole thing.
Whole thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's too
So it only
difficult
means
to
that it is hard to read. Okay.
read. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this is a good time for everybody to learn programming. And yeah, we'll focus more and more on learning. It's not about, you will have to code, but trust me, if you use ChatGPT or anything to code, it takes a lot of pain to actually fix that code. Okay. So I've been trying to get, like, if you don't know the logic, it just eats up all your time. It just eats up all your time. Okay. It's better to just write the code by yourself than getting it written by ChatGPT or Gemini. Okay. So see you tomorrow and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
And
Thanks, Sandeep.
Thank you, sir.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandeep.